And now, for more reaction and insight, it's a pleasure to welcome Professor Chuck Freilich, former Israeli Deputy National Security Advisor and Senior Fellow at the INSS, the Institute for National Security Studies. He joins us from Hod HaSharon. Professor, thank you, as always, for your time. It feels like this region is on a precipice. As such, Benjamin Netanyahu telling the devastated community of Majdal Shams in the Golan Heights, these children are our children and they are the children of all of us. Our response, his words, will come and it will be hard. So, Professor, what will this response likely entail? Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm not convinced nowadays that to be Mr. Netanyahu's children is such a wonderful thing. But I think Israel is caught in a devil's quandary at the moment, because on the one hand, we cannot allow what is happening on the northern border to continue indefinitely. It's not just the 10 months. It started long before that, but 10 months of ongoing fighting, 60 to 80,000 people who have still yet to be able to return to their homes. The north is a no man's land, or at least no civilians. And the tragedy yesterday, which was an extreme case, but it's a culmination of what we've seen in the last 12 months. I believe that a war with Hezbollah is a matter of when rather than if. And it may have to come simply at a timing of our own choosing and initiative. But at the same time, it's hard to think of timing which is less propitious than at the moment. Start with the fact that Israel is really totally isolated in the international community. We have no, despite what happened yesterday and 2 days ago in Majdal Shams, we have no legitimacy for a significant attack, a retaliation, okay, but not a significant operation. And even the US, which is totally caught up in its own domestic affairs in the electoral cycle, it's clear from all sides, Republicans, Democrats, that they very much also do not want to see a significant Israeli attack. Take into account that the IDF is greatly overstrengthed after 10 months of nonstop fighting. The reserves are exhausted, in any event, tired and need time to regroup. We still haven't resolved the issue of US weapons supply to Israel. This isn't the time for a major operation. And so I hope that the reports that it will be a significant but limited operation prove to be correct.
Of course, it remains to be seen what a significant but limited response actually is. But Professor, I'm interested when you talk about the past 9 months when Hezbollah has been showing its support or solidarity for Hamas in Gaza. In that time, it's launched more than 6,000 rockets towards northern Israel. It's also launched more than 300 drones towards northern Israel. Surely no country in the world would tolerate that kind of onslaught without a significant response, surely.
Right. That's why I said that I believe that a war with Hezbollah will happen. That sooner or later we're going to have to address the problem. But as bad as the last 9+ months have been, a war with Hezbollah is going to make this look like child's play. It's going to make the war with Hamas look like child's play. If the north has become an area in which civilians cannot live, that may be the problem in the rest of the country. Or the problem is, of course, that there isn't too much where else to go. But certainly the rest of the country will be a lot less comfortable to live in if this war happens. You mentioned before the precise missiles that they may have deployed. They will be able to do things that have never happened in the history of the Arab-Israeli conflict, such as hitting our mobilization centers and the mobilization storage storehouses. They will be able to hit all of our major offensive capabilities, such as air bases and overwhelmed defensive capabilities. They'll be able to hit civilian infrastructure, electricity, water, communications. They'll be able to hit command and control, whether it's from the prime minister's office down to the tactical communications echelons. So anybody who wants to rush into a major response, potentially leading to a major war, I think should sit back and think very carefully if we want to do this, when we want to do this, and how we want to do this. Again, I believe eventually we will have no choice, but now is not the time.
That certainly is fascinating to think about the kind of planning that is involved. This isn't a surprise. Many have been predicting there has to be a response. As you say, the timing will be crucial. Professor, I want to take us back, if you don't mind, to April. It was an extraordinary time. Iran launched hundreds of cruise missiles and ballistic missiles at Israel. When one thinks about what could have happened overnight at that time, it is extraordinary. But what was perhaps equally extraordinary was the response from the United States, Britain and France, all allies, also Jordan, though, and others. If there were to be some kind of full-blown escalation across this northern front, who would be on side, so to speak, with Israel?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that we could reconvene that coalition. And in any event, we're talking very short range, for the most part, short range rockets. Even the so-called long range ones that can hit Tel Aviv and south of Tel Aviv are short range compared to the attack from Iran in April, as you're saying. So I don't know that even if the other countries were willing to participate, that there would be time for them to be involved in an interception. I believe that if it becomes not just a round or two, but an ongoing war, or a big exchange, we'll see some American help in intercepting rockets. But we're going to be mostly on our own in this case. And especially, as I was saying before, the U.S. is really, it's totally consumed by the elections. And neither Harris nor Trump want to be diverted from what they consider to be their real issues by a conflict in the Mideast, which is really a no-win from any perspective from their point of view. It won't be popular politically. It won't achieve any American strategic objectives. It's something the U.S. wants to minimize. They have nothing to gain from this, maybe much to lose.
Professor Chuck Froelich, we always appreciate your insights into all these developing security situations. Thank you, as always, for being with us on I-24 News. Thank you.